Welcome to the Long Road, Joel and Chrissy. I'm Joel, Flying Solo today, and today is episode 2 of The Nerdy Runner, and I am in my series entitled Running for a PR in a 5K. So I'm going for under 20 minutes in the Turkey Trot in Oviedo in November. I do have a race scheduled, and we're going to try to do a PR on July the 4th. But come on and let's take a look at my training for the last few weeks. All right, so before I get to my training, because I really haven't done a lot of specialized training yet for the 5K. I've just been kind of piling on some mileage. Well, the last week I really haven't piled on any mileage because I've been working some kind of weird hours, and some days I couldn't get out there to get it done. So there's not really a lot to report on as far as my training goes. I do still up my mileage a lot, as I have over the last, leading up to up to Boston, and then afterwards I kept my mileage up pretty high. I'm still getting somewhere around 180, 190 miles per month. Looking still to get to 2023 for the year. Kind of took a step back last week because, like I said, some weird hours and a couple rainy mornings, and just couldn't get out the door to get it done. So I got some catching up to do this month, but I still got, I think about it, I still got 6.5 months to go. So I don't need to run it all in one day. So I keep telling myself that, but it is what it is. I think I have to get it back. But there are some things that I do want to talk about today. One thing specifically I want to talk about today is that I am trying a new shoe. Now, any of you that have been looking at my videos for a while now know that I've been running in Skechers now, Skechers Go Runs, for about since we were in Houston. So I'd say 2017, probably about a little over 6 years now. So about 6 years now. So I've been really happy with those. I know when I say Skechers, most people go Skechers, like, yeah, Skechers. I ran my fastest marathon in Skechers. I ran all my PRs in Skechers over the last few years. So Skechers Go Runs, they cost me about $60 $60 to $80, depending on when I buy them and what kind of discounts and deals I have. Sometimes I can get them as low as $30. So, and they last me a good 500, 600 miles. And they have treated me pretty well. So, but I wanted to try some different shoes just to see if I could tell a difference. And I bought some Saucony Endorphin Pro 2s. Now this is not the latest model of the Endorphin Pro. The Endorphin Pro 3 is the latest model. I've got the next latest, the earlier model than that. And so pro tip here, as far as frugal tips, if you want a frugal tip from this, is that if you don't want to spend a lot on shoes, wait until the new models come out and then search Amazon for the old ones. I got these for about $74 on Amazon, and so I got them on a try before you buy kind of deal, and I've tried them out a couple times this week, not as much as I wanted to, because like I said, I couldn't get out every day and it did rain some. So I did an 8-mile run earlier in the week, and then a 10-mile run this morning in these. And I mean, I like them. They're different in my Skechers. They're different because the area here, the flaps here, the side panels here they're not very thick. And so the ones on my Skechers are still they're pretty hefty right in through this area here. They're kind of a little thicker than this, but that didn't really bother me. They're just kind of fine the way this is made. The part that did get me was under the bottom on the tread. When I had these on, it feels like I'm kind of walking like this. It's kind of a weird feeling to have these on after wearing the Skechers for so long. But I'm kind of getting used to it. I want to give them a few more runs before I really kind of make a decision on whether or not I like them or not. So far, I do. I'm not necessarily finding that I'm any faster in these yet, because I know that anytime I buy a new pair of shoes, I do feel like I'm running a little faster. I did run a 10 miler at 8 minutes per mile this morning, which is about the fastest I've run a 10 mile in several months before the last marathon. So maybe even before that. But anyway, I've been pretty pleased with them so far. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna give them a few more runs to see if I really like them. These will be the ones I'll be trying for my PR in on July the 4th at the Watermelon 5K. That is my next race that's coming up. I kind of want to talk about that a little bit, but the Saucony Endorphin Pro 2. And the reason I got the Saucony is because I wear Saucony socks. And so I wanted to see if the socks coupled with the shoes would make a difference in my time or anything like that. So I'll report back on those when I get a little bit more mileage on those, and I'll let you know exactly how those are turning out for me. But so far, so good. I want to talk about the next race that's coming up. It's going to be the Watermelon 5K up in Winter Park, Florida, on July the 4th. This will be the second year I've run this one. I always like to do a July 4th race. I always did the Bud Heat Wave 5 miler in Houston, just outside of Houston, when we lived down there. Did that 3 or 4 years in a row, so when we got up here, I needed a new Independence Day race to run, and so I found that one up in Winter Park and really enjoyed it last year. It's a really good course. I think I ran it in 21 and a half, something like that last year. And like I said, this year I am trying for anything under 20 minutes and 55 seconds. So that'll be a new PR for me. And that'll kind of set my base as far as making the under 20 minute race, under 20 minute 5K coming up in November at the Turkey Trot in Oviedo. This will be the 4th year I've run that one. So I'm looking for a under 20 minute 5K, which I've never done, obviously, since my PR is 20 minutes and 55 seconds. So I haven't really done a whole lot of speed work yet. I've done some, just not a lot. And I'm going to try and get some of those done in the next couple weeks before July the 4th. It's sneaking up on me pretty quick here. We've got about 2 weeks to go, and got to get some speed work in there before that comes along. So that will be the next race, the Watermelon 5K up in Winter Park, and looking forward to that coming up. Then, like I said, I don't really have anything scheduled again until November, which will be the Turkey Trot up in Oviedo. I'm considering running the OUC half again this year. I skipped it last year because I did the Dopey Challenge in January, and so I did skip the OUC. I've run that one twice, and set a half marathon PR the last time I ran it a year and a half ago. So I set a half marathon PR that day. I'd like to run under 1 hour and 36 minutes. My PR is 1 hour, 36 minutes, and I think 42 seconds, I think, is my PR on that one. I'd like to run under 136. We'll see how that goes. But my next marathon looks like is going to be the Celebration Marathon. Wearing an appropriate shirt today. The Celebration Marathon in Celebration, Florida, which is where I set my first Boston qualifier almost 2 years ago, be a year and a half ago, and be 2 years ago when I run it next year. But looking to a tune-up race for London, which will be coming up hopefully in April of next year. I am in the lottery for a bib for London, but I'm also looking at destination marathons, which we went to Boston with. They're going to have bibs because the London Marathon allows overseas tour operators to have bibs for people that are coming with the tours. And so I'm on the list for that when those come out. And if I don't get a lottery pick, then I'll see if I can get a bib from Destination Marathons. And we may be going to London, but I'll be updating that probably on the next video in July. I should know for sure whether or not I'm in for London, which will be my 4th star in the Abbott World Marathon Majors. And then the 2 left that I would have would be Berlin and Tokyo. I'm actually shooting for Berlin in September of next year, and then Tokyo in March of 2025. So if I feel like I can get on a plane for that long, it's a 17-hour flight to Tokyo, and never been on a plane that long. So, but you know, if you want to reach your dreams, then you gotta do those things. So anyway, that's kind of where the calendar is going for the next probably almost 2 years as far as the marathons go. I know I said I was done, but if I can finish those, I told Christy if I can finish those 6 stars, then I'd do a few more, and hopefully have that done in the next couple years, and have that out of the way. So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. I have dealt with some, I don't know, some motivation kind of. Like I said, I haven't run a lot this week. Some of it's been rain, some of it's my work schedule. And sometimes my work schedule just makes me unmotivated to get out there and get it done. Sometimes my work schedule makes me very motivated to get out there and get it done. So let me ask you a question. Drop me a comment below. Is how do you deal with motivation or non-motivation in your exercise routine and things you know you need to get done? Drop me a comment below and let me know how you deal with motivation, motivating yourself to get out the door and get things done that you need to get done. I'd love to hear those tips that you have. There's just some days that we deal with that motivation factor and just don't want to get out there and do it. But all the hard work, you got to get out there and get those things done. So working on that. Excited for the new week, and hopefully get my running mileage back up this week on towards that 2023 and 2023. So drop me those comments below and let me know how your training is going, how your motivation is going, how you keep yourself motivated to do things, and I'd love to hear those comments. If you'd like to see another video for me on some of the things that we've done, maybe a Boston video or some other health videos I put, I'm going to have Christy put another video right up here that you can click it after we say the thing we always say. That's going to do it today for the Long Run with Joel and Christy. This is the Nerdy Runner, episode number 2. Don't forget the long run. Give yourself a little grace.